Santa knocked at 3:12 a.m., and the sound was wrong from the very beginning, too slow and too deliberate to belong to anything kind or joyful. The boy woke up with his heart already racing, not because of a dream, but because something heavy was touching the roof above his bedroom. He lay completely still beneath his blanket, staring into the darkness, trying to convince himself it was just snow sliding or branches moving in the wind. But the pressure above him shifted carefully, as if whatever was up there knew exactly where his room was. He reached toward his nightstand and checked the glowing numbers on his clock. 3:12 a.m. Christmas Eve. His mother always said Santa moved quietly, that he never woke children, that he slipped in and out without leaving a trace. This thing did not move quietly, and it did not care if it woke him. Something dragged slowly across the roof, stopping, then continuing again, like fingers testing the surface one careful inch at a time. The boy squeezed his eyes shut, hoping that if he didn't look, the sound would stop. It didn't. The movement paused directly above his bed, as if the weight had settled there on purpose. Then a voice slid through the ceiling, soft and close, like it was speaking directly into his thoughts. "I know you're awake." His body went cold all at once. The voice wasn't warm or playful, and it didn't sound like it was smiling. It sounded dry, patient, and certain. He stared up at the ceiling, afraid that if he moved, it would know. Good children don't pretend to sleep. The boy slid out of bed, his legs weak, his feet barely touching the floor as he moved toward the window. Every step felt too loud, like the house itself was listening. Frost covered the glass, blurring the world outside into pale shapes and shadows. He wiped a small circle clear with his sleeve and slowly tilted his head upward. A man in red was crawling across the roof. Not walking like a person, crawling like an insect. His arms and legs bent at angles that made the boy's stomach twist, joints folding in ways that looked painful but effortless. The Santa suit clung loosely to him, stretched thin in some places and hanging wrong in others. The beard was dark and heavy, swaying beneath his chin as if it were soaked with something thick. The man stopped moving. Then his head turned toward the window. Too far, too smooth. His eyes reflected nothing at all. Not the moonlight, not the house lights, not the boy watching him. "I can see your breath on the glass." The boy stumbled backward, his heart slamming against his ribs as the man began crawling again. Faster now, closer, straight toward the window. He ran to his parents' room, whispering their names, shaking them, begging them to wake up. They didn't move. Their faces were calm and wrong, like statues pretending to sleep. Behind him, the tapping began, slow and patient, always in groups of 3. 3 taps, 3:12. The voice returned, pleased and close. "You left the curtains open for me." The boy turned. The face was pressed against the glass now, the Santa mask cracked and stretched tight, the mouth pulled open just enough to show teeth that were far too small. Child-sized teeth. "Please go away." I already came inside. Warm breath brushed the boy's neck. When he turned, the man stood behind him, the red suit hanging loose like clothing stolen from someone else. The beard slid off his face and hit the floor, leaving only darkness behind. A hollow where a face should be. The thing leaned down until its voice filled the room. You were on my list. The clock clicked again. 3:12. The thing reached for him. Cold fingers brushed his cheek, marking him. Then it stepped backward, slowly, smiling with a mouth that no longer existed. Next year, I come earlier. It vanished into the night. The boy collapsed, crying as the room finally felt empty again. By morning, the roof was scarred, the window marked, and the boy would never sleep through Christmas again. And every year, at exactly 3:12 a.m., he still feels something crawling above his ceiling, waiting for him to open his eyes.